Good morning, APAP family. I'm Krista Bradley, Director of Programs and Resources at APAP. It's my pleasure to be able to work with our team and our conference committee and the board to serve you through programs and resources that help you do your jobs better and give you the information and networks that you need to advance. And one of those programs is an inspiring one that can help us move forward and think about how we actually move and do the work that we do. I want to welcome to the APAP Honors Celebration, and tell you that before we get started with our official program, we have an inspiring story to remind us why we do this work. For many years, we have hosted 5 Minutes to Shine, a program of micro-storytelling featuring members of the APAP community with inspiration to share. I want to thank our storytelling coach and longtime magazine editor, Alicia Anstead, who works with our speakers to share their stories. I think you will enjoy today's, which comes from a part of the country we don't often hear from and that we need to hear more from the rural parts of our world. Please welcome Allison Fleetwood.
Good morning. All right, let's go. My name is Dr. Allison Fleetwood, and I'm the head of Nixa School's Theater Department in Nixa, Missouri. I'm a teacher, I'm a director, a counselor, a mother to many, and the list goes on and on. But today I'm speaking to you as a teacher, and I would like to tell you about my student Mal, who walked into my classroom the first day freshman year and said, you look awful. Yeah. Now, the night before the first day of school, I'm always up late. So in hindsight, Mal probably wasn't wrong. I am sure I maybe didn't look awful, but tired. And that was Mal. He said what was on his mind. I have to say, Mal was not his name when I met him. His name used to be Peyton, but Mal struggled with self-confidence and generally thought of himself as nothing bad, defective, or Mal. During Mal's freshman and sophomore years, he struggled with chronic absenteeism. And besides giving him a place in our high school theater department and building him up as much as I could, I really was uncertain where his path would lead. From Mal's first day of kindergarten to his junior year, our community population doubled in size from 12,000 to 24,000, a growth directly tied to the amazing academic, athletic, and arts programs available to our students in Nixa. Our community supported the construction of a state-of-the-art performing arts center, and in the spring of 2023, the ATO Center for the Performing Arts opened its doors. I stepped into the role of head of operations for the facility while still teaching and running the high school theater program, but I recognized an unprecedented opportunity to offer an educational experience to my students unlike anything you might expect from a community our size. By running national productions coming through our venue, I'm able to hire students to load in equipment, run cable, adjust lighting, and work side by side with professionals in the industry. I've had students run Spotlight for Martina McBride, work on the fly rail for Ray Lynn, and shadow lighting and sound technicians on countless productions. When students like Mal work on professional productions with professional artists and crews, they gain valuable experiences. One of the most rewarding aspects of my role is the reaction I get from visiting production staff. They're often amazed when they realize that the crew running the show is actually made up of my students, and the venue itself is usually my classroom. It's a reassuring experience to see their surprise and admiration for our team's professionalism. After each production, I consistently receive heartfelt emails from staff and performers alike, raving about how smoothly everything runs and how impressed they are by the level of skill and dedication our young students bring to the Performing Arts Center. It's incredibly fulfilling to share these emails with my students and see their confidence grow right in front of me. Also, the mentorship these professionals have provided to my students has been life-changing. I saw an instant change in Mal when he worked as a stagehand for the Mike's Super Magic and Illusion show and was asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Being entrusted with the responsibility of protecting confidential information was a powerful sign of trust that Mal felt deeply. For the first time, Mal felt seen by someone other than his teachers, who he thought were just obligated to love him. I've seen firsthand how the arts can change lives, how these national productions bring people together, break down barriers, and inspire the next generation of thinkers, creators, and leaders. I've witnessed firsthand the confidence that Mal carries at his new job here. He recently sent me this picture from his new job at Missouri State University, where he is an actor for the nursing program, role-playing various health scenarios. So here he is portraying a father whose son is suffering from appendicitis. Mel worked as props master this past summer for Missouri State University's Tent Theater and currently works as a stagehand for Juanita K. Hammons Hall for the Performing Arts. And I actually ran into him recently at a local production where he quickly ran over to me in the lobby, giving me a hug, telling me how bad he thought the show was. He is still working on reading the room. Watching Mal gain the confidence to step into the role of a concerned father at his new job while critically assessing productions is a direct reflection of his experience with the ATOS. Since the ATOS opened its doors, I've had the privilege of expanding the course offerings at Nixa High School, adding dance, makeup design, and an advanced technical theater course. This advanced technical theater course is close to my heart. It gives students like Mal the chance to build on their technical theater skills, moving beyond the basics. Students in this course aren't just learning in the classroom, they're actively working as paid employees on live productions, gaining valuable hands-on experience. And it provides a pathway to the Missouri Registered Youth Apprenticeship Program, allowing students to complete the essential skills for the entertainment technician exam and graduate as certified technicians. We're proud to be the only high school in the nation offering this apprenticeship and the unique opportunity to earn ESET certification, opening doors to the future in the industry. Mal is still a mess, but he is very much still learning. The arts are neither a Band-Aid nor a cure. The arts are a process in giving students hope in themselves. Investing in Mal was about more than just supporting best practices in the arts or creating new opportunities for our community. It was about believing in young people and the power the arts have to make a difference in their lives. For Mal, it meant creating space for growth, connecting with visiting artists, and offering a work-study model that built not only skills, but also confidence. It was about helping him and others like him find a sense of belonging and personal strength through the arts. Thank you.
Please welcome APAP's President and CEO, Lisa Richards-Toney.
Thank you. Good morning. I was up a little earlier than all of you, so this is nice. This is like noon now. Good morning. Okay, Allison Fleetwood, what a beautiful story. Thank you so much. Thank you. It certainly resonates with all of us. And that's the beauty of the art. It is a bit of a universal, right? So thank you. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our annual APAP Honors Awards ceremony at the start of this new year. One of the key reasons that we gather at this conference is simply to come together. Yes, we can now communicate in all sorts of ways, but just as we know there is no substitute for live performance, there is no substitute for this time together. We learn from each other, we get joy and strength from each other, and as I often say, we are stronger together. And I think we have all felt that throughout this conference. We know that this is a challenging time for our field in all sorts of ways, but we are here because we are mighty, creative, resourceful, passionate. This is a group who shares the belief in the power of the performing arts. Give yourselves a hand. We are reminded here that we can find solutions and supports in this space with this phenomenal group of friends and colleagues. As we begin, I want to thank once again IMG Artists for continuing to sponsor our annual awards ceremony. Please join, yes. Please join me in viewing a brief video from IMG Artists in honor of their generous support. Thank you. We will have representatives from IMG to please stand. And let's give them another round of applause. There they are. I also want to recognize and thank our conference sponsors. Their generous support makes it possible for us to have this invaluable gathering here in New York each January. As you can see on the next two screens, we have a wonderful slate of sponsors, old and new, and we thank all of them for their vital contributions to ensure a successful annual APAP conference. Sustaining sponsors, thank you. Audience View, Canada Council, ETICS, Harmony Artists, IMG, The Vampire Circus. Our supporting sponsors, Cami Music, Opus 3 Artists, and special thanks to Alice North. And Jennifer Engel with Helms Briscoe. We're grateful to our contributing sponsors, Dance Managers Collective. There they are. I don't know, maybe. Elsie Management. Oh, there they are. Epic Arts Management. There they are. Ireland with Michael. Pacifica Artists Network. Thank you, Karen. Your part-time controller. We need them. And our participating sponsors, Boston University Metropolitan Campus. Thank you. David Bellanzon Management, Incorporated. Sweetwood Creative. Yes, thank you. The Effects of Gravity. VetTix. And our media partners, Folk Alliance International, International Arts Manager Magazine, the New York Mayor's Office of Media Entertainment, Stage Link, and all of you who are here who are sponsors, would you please stand so that we can recognize you and give you a round of applause. We thank you sincerely. Please also join me in acknowledging the critical support that APAP receives from foundations and agencies. The Doris Duke Foundation, the Ford Foundation, the Mellon Foundation, the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York Community Trust, and the Wallace Foundation. We could not do this work without you. Thank you so much. Representatives for most of these organizations have been with us this week, and many are here today. Thank you for being here. I also want to acknowledge guests in the audience who may have made very special efforts above and beyond to be here today. Thank you, those of you coming from California and other parts of the West Coast. This is a lot, y'all. And I encourage you to connect with your members because some of us are having a really tough time. And there's opportunity to support each of us, so please do that as you're interacting throughout the conference. I want to give a special acknowledgement to the National Endowment for the Arts. We appreciate their efforts on behalf of the arts, which we know support not only many of us here today, but also other workers, our audiences, and communities across the country. Thank you. Now we move into a special part of our morning where we honor the memory of those who have passed on in our field, our dear colleagues who are so dear to us. I'd like to take this moment to honor them, the memory that we have of them. Many are treasured artists, and all were members of our field who passed away in this past year. Too many who touched our lives are now gone, and we are sharing the names of just some of the lights that have gone out. We ask you to take a moment of remembrance and gratitude for these and others who you hold in your heart. Thank you. Okay, now we are moving on to our awards, and we have many, and some real starlets for you. I have the pleasure of announcing first the Halsey and Alice North Award. In 2016, we established the Halsey and Alice North Award in honor of longtime exemplary service to the field of our good friends and colleagues, the Norths, who you will hear more about in just a bit. This award is made for outstanding and continuous contributions to the field and industry by former APAP board members. It was presented last evening at a gathering of APAP board alumni, and we had a wonderful time. This year, I am delighted to announce that the very deserving award winner is our dear former APAP board president, Karen Fisher. Karen, please stand. Our board alumni are a group of individuals that make APAP go round, and we thank all of you, and particularly Alice North, on behalf of this North Award. Thank you. I'd now like to share some words with you from another board alumni who continues to make contributions to this field. I give you past North Award recipient, APAP Supporter Supreme. I love the way that's written. Let's say it again. APAP Supporter Supreme. And when you hear him, you'll know what I mean. The board chair of Concert of Colors, a man whose resume is too long and too distinguished to even know where to start, who exemplifies leadership and service to this field, our beloved performing arts. Please welcome Ken Fisher.
When I think of APAP, I think of education, I think of stimulation, and it comes from the people who are part of it. APAP was so critical to me at the beginning. You gotta understand, I was coming from two other careers that had nothing to do with performing arts presenting at a very high level. I was inheriting an outstanding organization, but I came with almost no experience. Did some dilettante gigs at the Kennedy Center, but I hadn't had a staff. I hadn't had to curate a season. I hadn't, had to worry about venue, management, all of that. I was able to learn from colleagues here and sessions. They care about the next generation of leadership. And when I think of that next generation coming up, mentorship has been a key value of this organization. And now we're actually investing in a mentorship program that we're going to name after, Halsey and Alice North. Halsey passed away, but what a wonderful way to honor this guy. Our current leadership really values the input of those of us that have been involved in the organization for a long time. I'm involved in a lot of organizations, but none has valued its retired board members, those who are still in the job but have left the board. There's an enormous legacy. We love the place, but we have a lot to offer. I support APAP because it's absolutely critical to do so. I have gained so much from my 36 years of membership. I want those that are coming behind me to feel the same kind of value. And that takes investment, that takes support. I'm going to continue to support for as long as I can.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So I'm Ken Fisher. I'm the old guy you just saw that shared my APAP story and the tremendous impact this organization has had on my career. Now, next year, this was taken a few years, it's going to be my 40th conference. Since I turned 80 last month, that means that APAP has been a part of my life. Well, half of my life, it's been a part of that. So this is why I support APAP. It's an investment that has given me and my organization so much in return. This is why I want you to consider a donation to APAP. You know, just as ticket sales alone don't support the costs of running a presenting organization, it's the same with APAP. Membership and conference fees plus sponsorship need to be supplemented by individuals who benefit from what APAP has to offer. And this is where we all come in. Just think about it. Beyond you yourself, imagine how many people are going to benefit from your being at this conference. Your staff, the artists you work with, then there's your audiences, and your community. Add to that all the APAP programs, ELI, the mentorship program, the podcasts and the publications, all of which are here to help us learn and grow and be better at what we do. But most importantly to me over the years are the wonderful people that I have met. Many of them are sitting right up here. We're old folks who've been around for a long time. And it's these colleagues who, no matter where they are or what they do, presenters, managers, agents, suppliers, the APAP staff, I know that I can call on them and have done so now for 40 years, and they're going to be there to help me out. Now, what a huge gift this has been for me and my organization, and that's why I give. So again, I'm going to ask you to consider making a donation to APAP. Now, you've seen the QR code that's shown on posters and session slides throughout the conference, or you can contact APAP's development office. You'll be investing in yourself and in the health of our industry. So believe me, take it from the old guy. The more you give of your time, talent, and treasure to this organization, the more you're going to receive. Thank you very much.
It is now time to present this year's APAP Honors Awards. Please welcome Christopher K. Morgan to present the first APAP Honors Award.
Aloha, friends. Mahalo. It's with deep gratitude and admiration that we honor a remarkable leader, visionary, cultural steward, and advocate. In Hawaiian, I would say this woman is a manawahine, a powerful woman. Lulani Arquette. As president and CEO of the Native Arts and Cultures Foundation, Lulani has not only transformed that organization, but ignited a movement that illuminates the work of indigenous artists and cultural practitioners. She has worked tirelessly to increase and diversify resources, elevate indigenous voices, and strengthen the resilience of Native communities. Her impact is immeasurable. She championed a vision where Native art is recognized as a cornerstone of preservation, social justice, and healing. And under her leadership, NACF has become a true beacon of hope and possibility for Native artists. It's grown into a hub where Indigenous artists and communities are seen, heard, and deeply valued. As an artist who has directly benefited from NACF, I can attest to her care and intentionality. As a facilitator who supported NACF's efforts in panels, meetings, and artist gatherings, I have witnessed the profound impact she has had on so many artists. Her accomplishments are extensive, convening an historic gathering on Native arts with federal agencies such as the National Endowment for the Arts and the National Endowment of the Humanities in 2020. She forged partnerships with Native and non-Native funders and institutions, helped with the truest land back initiative that I know of in the acquisition of what is now the Center for Native Arts and Culture, and serves on boards like here at APAP and Grantmakers in the Arts, and so much more. One quick anecdote. About 3 years ago, I was hired by Lulani and NACF. For me, it was a dream opportunity to work with someone I deeply admired in a role that would serve Native artists. But just 6 weeks into my onboarding virtually, another opportunity arose for me to work in Hawaii, my ancestral homeland. I wrestled with this decision, torn between my commitment to NACF, Lulani, and the pull of my homeland. And when I shared this dilemma with Lulani, she listened, and with her characteristic grace, encouraged me to go. She reminded me that my connection to my land and ancestors was vital and aligned with her and NACF's values. This embodies Lulani's deep humanity and profound leadership. She selflessly supports others in walking their own path, and always with aloha. Lulani, your leadership has been an act of love in my life. It's grounded me, it's shown me humility and respect for others and their journeys. I'm so moved by your profound work, and I'm so grateful to you. Mahalo nui loa. It's a real honor to present this award to the incredible Lulani Arquette, the Sidney R. Yates Advocacy Award. Lulani, please join me. Do this official part. Perfect and beautiful. Thank you. I'll hold this for you.
Let's see, they told me to push this down a little bit, okay? All right. Well, this is a delicious surprise. When they first called me and told me that I was nominated for this award, I was very humbled, actually. And I want to especially thank Lisa and the board and staff of APAP for all of the work that they've done during many challenging times and many joyful times. And we don't thank you enough for the work that you've done for this conference annually, for when Lisa came on in 2020 after Mario had moved on. So again, I'm very humbled and very thankful for this award. I also want to mention that all of you that are sitting out there right now are keeping this industry alive. I've worked with a lot of Native artists and non-Native artists, but in the work that I've done with the Native Arts and Cultures Foundation in the past, I'm retired now. And we went through a transition period, brought on a new CEO, brought on a new board chair, and I'll tell you something that's real important about transitions, and APAP has been a good model of this also. It takes planning, focus, good times, and time. And I'm really happy to say the Native Arts and Cultures Foundation is in good hands now with its new staff and leadership. But I want to say for all of you that are out there doing the work, I thank every one of you that are out there doing this work during these times, because these are challenging times that we're in right now. And I ask for us to continue to be committed to equity work, committed to our humanitarian values as human beings, and also committed to success and focus. May we all, and I'll use a Hawaiian metaphor here, may we all jump in that canoe and paddle together through rough, choppy waters, through glass waters that are smooth as glass. And this performing arts industry continues to succeed because of that and because all of you. So mahalo nui loa so much for this award. Appreciate it.
Get my steps in. Okay. Our next award is the William Dawson Award for Programmatic Excellence and Sustained Achievement in Programming. This award recognizes extraordinary quality, innovation, and vision of program design, audience building, and community involvement efforts. This year, we honor an individual who has more than met that criteria and has done so for the past 15 years. Afa Dworkin, President and Artist Director of Sphinx Organization. APA has been responsible for Sphinx programming since its inception in 2015, with a focus on transforming lives through the power of diversity in the arts, with national programming that fosters excellence and innovation in classical music. Dworkin's pioneering programs at Sphinx expand access to classical music education, support a national roster of distinguished musicians, and provide world-class performance opportunities for emerging musicians of color. Her initiatives such as Sphinx Competition, Sphinx Virtuosi, and Sphinx Connect have redefined what it means to create access and visibility for diverse voices in classical music. She has cultivated partnerships with leading orchestras and arts institutions globally, creating a partner network of more than 300 organizations across the globe. Sphinx's programs touch the lives of 100 million people, 100 million, through live and digital reach. Her visionary programming, focus on community engagement, and relentless pursuit of equity make her a powerful force for change. Please join me in congratulating Afa Dworkin.
Good morning, everybody. It's so wonderful to be in the presence of incredible colleagues, old and new, and it gives me such pleasure to be here by people who love me and have supported me for the entirety of my career of more than 30 years. And it's wonderful to see Ken Fisher, one of my biggest mentors and a board member, who has helped me define what Sphinx's artistic presence would be. And in many ways, this award, I think, recognizes and celebrates that which was a concept 30 years ago. Sphinx's work, as Lisa mentions, is all about equity, and it's all about representation on stage. I won't talk too much. As a recovering violinist, I get into conversations about programming ad nauseum, but I'll keep this one short. About 9 years ago, there was a study done by our friends at the League of American Orchestras that looked at the quality and content of programming on stage. And at that time, music by BIPOC composers on American stages represented less than 1%, less than 0.5% of all things that American orchestras programmed, so a statistical zero. Just less than a year ago, another study was done. And at the moment, I'm proud to say that music by BIPOC composers now stands at 23% of what we program. And nearly, yes, that's something to congratulate yourselves on, and nearly 10% of that statistical number is by Black composers alone. And of course, that resonates so strongly with Sphinx's work, and we've been proud to lead the way in this work and work with nearly 300 organizations, many of whom are presenting organizations all across the globe, to really evolve and redefine the canon of American concert music, and that's been an incredible joy. They say that integrity is doing the right thing when no one's looking. But in these challenging and interesting times, I also think that integrity is doing the right thing or continuing to do the right thing even when you're under the microscope. So this is very much a note of gratitude to our friends in the presenting world who are continuing to sustain this work and help us vision the incredible beauty and vibrancy and, yes, diversity that exists in American classical music and continue to sustain the work of living composers and incredible artists such as our 4 touring ensembles who are exemplifying excellence tirelessly every day with a commitment to excellence, with a commitment to vibrancy that I know represents the richness of our entire community. So thank you for this incredible honor and have an amazing conference.
We will now present awards from some key APAP partners. Please welcome Karen Kennedy, President of North American Performing Arts Managers and Agents, to present the NAPAMA Awards.
Good morning. So I'm going to repeat it because I'm very proud of the organization that I represent, and that is NAPAMA, North American Performing Arts Managers and Agents. And in our membership and on our board, we include and are very excited to work with independent artists and presenters. So we welcome everyone, and part of our job and our vision is to provide networking resources and a place where you can just learn more about this business from very, very friendly people. We are really pleased to be able to sponsor 2 awards, and the first award I'm going to present is the NAPAMA Award for Excellence in Presenting the Performing Arts. And this is a person that all of you guys will recognize. We try not to release the name until here, just because we like to build excitement, and why not? This person is the Vice President of Programming and Engagement, and I stress that last word, engagement, at the Marcus Performing Arts Center in Milwaukee. Most of you guys know him by his glasses, but most of all, you probably know him by the exuberance that he brings to his job. He has expanded engagement, he has expanded programming, he has expanded community involvement at the Marcus. Jared Dormovic, he also serves on the board of the Heartland Performing Arts, which presents MAX, as many of you know, another great conference. And he chairs the Wisconsin Presenters Network. Outside of work, but really probably instead of work, at the top of work, he enjoys life with his wife and 2 children. He's also a man with a horse named Nash. Did you know that? Please welcome Jared Dormovic.
I just found a new pair of glasses. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to adjust them too. I am so grateful to know you, to work with you, to be friends with you, and I am beyond humbled to be receiving this award today. I also feel like an imposter. This award is not a recognition of my own work, but a celebration of the collective effort that goes into bringing live performance to audiences, connecting artists with communities, and sustaining the cultural landscape that we all cherish. I want to express gratitude today to NAPAMA, to the APAP team, to my colleagues at the Wisconsin Presenters Network, sorry about the Packers yesterday, to Heartland Performing Arts and Midwest Arts Expo, to my mentors and peers, thank you for sharing your wisdom and your guidance and your insights. I never stop learning in this field, and your generosity in sharing with me has shaped my growth and approach. I offer gratitude also to my own organization, the Marcus Performing Arts Center in Milwaukee, and to my friends who nominated me for this award. But most of all, I express gratitude for my teams, both current and past, who've actually done all of the work for which I now reap this award. I consider myself lucky to work alongside passionate, creative, and dedicated individuals who share my vision of bringing joy and communion to our communities. I would be remiss if I didn't also express gratitude for my family and admiration for them, my wife and 2 kids, and a seemingly growing menagerie of 4-legged family members. They have supported me through a lot. I didn't know what a presenter was when I was a kid, but I knew I wanted to put on a show. At the end of the day, it didn't matter whether I was performing on stage or mopping the stage. What mattered to me was being in the room where it happened with those who made it happen. These people were my chosen family. I was a theater kid. I was a choir kid. I was a band kid. I was a techie and a designer. This is my circus. These are my clowns, and you are my people. I'm honored to be amongst you, to work with you, to work for you. This industry exists because of the relationships we build, and it is a testament to the power of collaboration. What we do together isn't rocket science or brain surgery. We put on a show. It isn't complicated, but it is complex. What we sell isn't a widget or a great night out. What we sell is an opportunity to see ourselves in another and have that experience returned to us in real time, in real life. Our jobs often begin when everybody else's day ends. Our vocation is to care for the discretionary income of our neighbors by exchanging it for delight and respite and transformation. The art we bring is vital and important, not because it increases our quality of life, but necessarily because it connects us to one another. It is my great privilege to work in a field that others pay to be a part of. And as I stand here knowing for certain that I remain undeserving of this privilege, I am reminded of the profound responsibility that I have as a presenter. I have learned that whether what I present speaks to me or not is immaterial. What matters is whether my community needs it. Our world is changing, our roles are evolving, but the core of our work remains the same: to foster connection between people through the transformative power of live performance. As we venture into 2025 and beyond, through trials unforeseen and anticipated, I wish to take this time to remind you of the value that you bring to your communities. We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams, and I thank you humbly.
I thought you forgot it.
You see how cool he is. He thought I was going to leave without my glasses, which I'm going to put on since we were supposed to match. I'm really proud of this, to present this next award, which is the Liz Silverstein Award for Agent Manager of the Year. You've already been introduced to her as the first awardee of this conference. I just want to I'm not going to talk about her because you guys already know about her. She is an entrepreneur. She is a friend to everyone. What I find most remarkable is a person who goes up and greets someone who is new in the industry, in the organization, in the space that you are sharing, and finds a way to make you feel as if you belong. And that is a gift and a skill that very few people have. And if they have it, they don't always share it, but this person shares it at every opportunity. I'd like to welcome Karen A. Fisher.
moment to find my notes. Oh, thank you, Nepama. I'm deeply honored to be recognized in a field of so many excellent agent manager colleagues and friends. It's a total privilege to be part of this community that supports our artists and makes live performance touring possible. Nepama defines excellence as cultivating and promoting diversity, best practices and ethical behavior, and exemplary mentoring. Yes. 15 years ago, my circumstances changed and led me to start my agency. After leaving the Maui Arts and Cultural Center, I needed to decide how to continue meaningful work in the performing arts on Maui. David Palmer, formerly of Whittier College in Soka, had commented some years before, "I wish someone would represent Hawaiian artists." The seed was planted, and I went on to create my agency, Pacifica Artist Network, with a roster of performers I knew well from my presenting days at the MAC, a roster that encompasses Indigenous Hawaiian and New Zealand Maori, artists in contemporary music, dance, hula, and spoken word, representing many facets of performing arts rooted in the Pacific Islander experience, with the goal to change the popular but mistaken narrative of what culture coming from the Pacific region is and can be. It's become a gratefully accepted responsibility. The amazing artists and cultures I represent entrust me with their talents. It is in that spirit of trust that I do my best to serve them well. Our work as agents and managers reflect not only on us, but on our artists, so they deserve our best. The Hawaiian term is kuleana, a responsibility and a privilege and a commitment to our community. With every Liz Silverstein Award, we remember her and her legacy, fiercely committed to her artist, wicked sense of humor, and her welcome to newbies into the agent manager side of our performing arts ecosystem. With 45 years of a career that has indulged my passion for the performing arts, from management to presenting to agenting, it's a joy and a kuleana to follow Liz's mentoring example and share what I've learned, my missteps and successes, and transferable experiences, and then step back and encourage the next generation of arts professionals to shape our field for the future. My deepest thanks to Nepama and to you, all of my colleagues. Mahalo.
And now, please welcome Tommy Kriegsman to present this year's award from the Creative and Independent Producers Alliance, SEPA.
Good morning, APAP. I'm very proud to represent SEPA, the Creative and Independent Producer Alliance, an organization dedicated to the craft of producing and the essential relationship between artist and producer. That keeps our industry moving by keeping new work development moving, the very engine of what and why we are here today. As we know, the producer role takes many forms: artist producer, executive producer, creative producer, the nonprofit and for-profit producers. But that in each of these manifestations, the essential function of supporting the artist toward maximum realization of their vision is fulfilled and the soup gets made. This is our third SEPA Award for Outstanding Achievement in creative producing, and with each, we've had the honor of recognizing regionally diverse operatives who we may not otherwise know have played such a formidable role in making vital new work happen. Major forces in the ecology of new work development, whose work more than deserves to be brought to light. Our 2025 awardee, Ben Grinberg, is such a force. An essential player in the thriving Philadelphia art scene, Ben's work as producer, advocate, creator, educator, and performer epitomizes the galvanizing ethos of a producer partner who makes new art happen, creating community-based platforms for artistic presentation and exchange in Philadelphia, New York City, and beyond. He co-founded Cannonball Festival, a vital hub for new performance in Philadelphia, is a company member, co-founder, and director of Almanac Dance Circus Theater, and was a founding core faculty member and head of performance and artistic craft at Circadium, the nation's first certificate-granting program in contemporary circus performance. He's won a 2020 Rocky Award, a 2017 Soraya Award, and a 2019 Barrymore Award for Outstanding Movement and Choreography. With work seen at Queer Zagreb, Jacob's Pillow, Philadelphia Museum of Art, Fringe Arts, New York Live Arts, the Mexico City International Festival of Contemporary Dance, Assembly Festival, Circus Now, and many more. Ben is an extraordinarily gifted and deeply dependable partner. His energy, his creative light, his positivity lifts all those around him, and I've personally experienced this myself and found it to be just an extraordinarily moving ability and way of getting things done for his community and for all those around him. We are deeply honored to present the 2025 SEPA Award for Outstanding Achievement in Producing to Ben Grinberg.
Wow. I am so humbled and cowed to be up here. Thank you so much, Tommy, for introducing me, and thank you to Cindy and the entire organizing committee at SEPA for everything you've done to create that organization, which is so vital and necessary. This award is really about celebrating the work of everyone who made Cannonball possible. And I think Cannonball has had an outsized impact on our city of Philadelphia and beyond. 5 years ago, feeling the impacts of overlapping divestments from institutions that made producing live performance in Philadelphia an unsupported and Herculean task, an ensemble of artists decided to share what we knew about self-producing and create a platform that we thought could make the festival that we loved, the Philly Fringe, better. The response to that impulse was overwhelming because the need for support among independent artists was massive, is massive. And suddenly, even post-COVID, the Philly Fringe felt like a festival again. This award recognizes the work and vision of Nick, LJ, May, Kate, Colby, Nate, Sam, and the dozens of other producers that have worked tirelessly in service of independent artists, and the risk that every Cannonball artist, venue partner, and audience member took in jumping on board to a new model dedicated to pooling resources, uplifting marginalized people, making wild, loose, experimental, and delicious art. And yet, this is not a unique story. Not seeing the opportunities we know we need, we make them happen. This is what this conference is about, and this is what artists and change makers do everywhere across the country. Artists, we know, are energy amplifiers and resource multipliers. And while we all occupy different places in the ecosystem, I hope you all will take a moment to consider what resources you might have access to that the independent artists in your community need. Yeah. A year ago, just across the river, I was honored to be at a keynote address by Kumi Naidoo, who was the former Secretary General of Amnesty International, and I heard him say unequivocally that although he wasn't sure that arts and culture would bring about the changes needed to ensure that every human being was able to lead a free and prosperous life, he was sure that it couldn't happen without arts and culture. So, this is a moment to remind ourselves to take risks. Offer up the resources you have access to. Whether you have power within an institution or are operating outside the bounds of one, I guarantee you that if you are in this room, there are 5 zero-cost programs you can implement in the next year to benefit artists in your community. I challenge you to make them happen. And if you need any help imagining what those might be, please feel free to call me. I'm here, I can vision. If we're going to recognize the importance of arts in education, and if we're going to do the work to bring these incredible, inspiring works of art to our communities, and to tell the stories that our civic body needs to hear, then we have to make space for the people in our community to act on that inspiration. And I'm not just talking about community programs. I'm talking about tending to the grassroots of our ecosystem in every corner of the country, welcoming in those at the margins,
I'm talking about building solidarity, not out of generosity, but because it is the only way that we will all survive. Thank you.
Wow. It's an honor to be here to celebrate the creators and visionaries who are shaping the future of our field and sector at large. My name is Rika Ino, she, her, founder and CEO of Sozo, an agency and incubator working at the intersection of social impact, innovation, and culture. I'm an Asian woman of Japanese descent with a long hair and wearing a jumpsuit and a cat. APAP thrives on the boldness of people who dare to challenge the status quo and envision possibilities that we may not yet see. This belief is embedded in APAP's ethos, and I know this to be true, especially now that I'm a proud first-year board member at APAP, witnessing my colleagues in action. That's why the Spark of Change Award is so meaningful. This award recognizes an individual under the age of 40 who exemplifies trailblazing innovation and vision, who's taking a groundbreaking approach in addressing a field-wide challenge with promising impact. Today, we celebrate such a leader. Terrell Johnson is the executive director of the Chicago Philharmonic and a true innovator. Since joining the Philharmonic in 2021, Terrell has redefined what an orchestra can mean to its community and to the world. He's been awarded Crane's Business 40 Under 40 and has brought together experiences that defy expectations and inspire new perspectives and expand audiences. Picture this. The Philharmonic performing at Lollapalooza with the singer-songwriter Leve, the first orchestra to ever perform at this iconic festival with 100,000 audience members and streamed on Hulu. The Chicago premiere of Marble Studios' Black Panther in concert with Senegalese drummer Massamba Diop, whose incredible talking drums helped shape the iconic score. In a multimedia performance with indie star Kishibashi, delving into the history and legacy of Japanese-American internment during World War II. This isn't just programming, it's storytelling that reaches across generations and cultural boundaries, that invites and reflects the voices and audiences who never imagined they see themselves in the world of classical music. You know, I was preparing for this introduction and kept on wondering, where were you, Terrell, when in AFA, when I was studying classical music growing up and having an ongoing existential crisis? But Terrell's vision doesn't stop at the concert stage. He's stewarding an organization with a unique system of musician governance, with an unwavering commitment to inclusivity and diversity. Under his leadership, the Philharmonic has built mentoring programs and partnerships with underrepresented communities, inviting collaboration at every level, making sure that the change they create is shaped by the people they serve. I asked Terrell to name one thing that we may not read about in his bio. He said, "Trust the process." It's a privilege to honor Terrell Johnson with the APAP Spark of Change Award, not just for what he has achieved, but for the inspiration he sparks in all of us, and hopefully courage to trust the process. Congratulations, Terrell.
Good morning. Thank you to APAP so much for this honor. It's such a privilege to be here with you today. One of the big conversations I've had with my staff from the moment I took this role at Chicago Philharmonic has been about a spark. And that spark has been vision. And in terms of having a vision, how can we transform our ecosystem? How can we transform our arts community and make it more diverse, make it more inclusive, to see folks that look like me, to tell stories that haven't been told through our art form, through our discipline. And we've been challenging ourselves, and one of the exciting things about vision is the non-linear path your vision can take. And from someone who started as a music performance major, playing the clarinet, and taken, which I never tell anyone, but I also took ballet, which was like a side hustle. They needed someone tall, and my mom, she was like, yes, he would love to do that. And I think she was just trying to find activities for me after school. But from someone who had that path in the arts to then working at the New World Symphony and working with the next generation of performers and supporting these young musicians to now leading in this position, the non-linear path I've taken in my career has enabled me to use this initial spark, which has been rooting all of my work in joy and inspiration. And so when I talk to my staff about vision, there's a conversation we have about how it initially starts. And it's usually, you have this idea and you want to foster it, and you need the support. It takes a village. And so one of the really fascinating things about vision is to have it in your mind, to join that path with it, to be open but not attached to the outcome. There's a journey you're on. But then the magical thing about vision is to one day be standing in it, to have an idea that you've supported and you've fostered, and then I always tell my staff, take a moment to just enjoy not only the process of everything you're doing, the hard work, the investment, the collaboration that it all takes, but take a minute to really enjoy the work we're doing to transform our community, to bring joy to people, and to inspire. And so oftentimes, you'll catch me at our performances just grinning like a fool, because we're in it. And I see some partners here today who I work with in this process in terms of have supported us from the facilities to our artistic programming to just doing everything that's possible to bring joy to our community. And I want to say one of the biggest compliments I got recently in terms of when you're in this process and needing to take a moment to enjoy it is, and it's funny, someone mentioned the Packers earlier. So our photographer, he captures beautiful images for arts organizations and the Packers. And so he has a very interesting perspective. And we were doing a concert, and he pulled me aside, and he's like, I want to tell you something. And it was a big compliment to me because he has this eye, he is watching things so closely to capture moments of exactly what I've been talking about, inspiration and joy. And he said, when I am with the Packers, we're in the locker room, I start there, and then you go down the tunnel, and before the team comes out and they enter the stadium, above there's a message to the players, and it's a reminder to them, and it says, remember, today is on somebody's bucket list. And he said, I want to let you know, I've been with you the last couple of years, and the work you're doing, I've always found that your audience is inspired. Your audience looks like Chicago. And he said, there's so much joy in the room. And I don't always talk publicly about the joy. So for someone to pull me aside whose profession is to observe and to say, I observe joy in the instances and the work that you're doing in the instance of your shows, it was such a huge compliment to me. And it's the whole reason why I do this work. It's the reason why I've been rooted in challenging the norm and bringing different opportunities to the music ecosystem, bringing in different collaborators. It's just to bring inspiration and joy and to make the world a little bit of a better place in the way I can. And so I've been really privileged to have the opportunity to do so with the Philharmonic. I'm so thankful to the mentors I've had throughout my career. It's so exciting to see Alpha here, as I went through the Sphinx Lead program. And I'm just thankful for this recognition. And I just want to thank my staff, who's been such a big part of letting me dream big. I've got a small but mighty team. I have crazy ideas. And the best is yet to come. I feel like we're on this journey together. I'm so inspired by the leaders that are, the young leaders that are in our community, the leaders that I see here today. And so I just want to thank you so much for this award, for this recognition.
Thank you to all, and congratulations to all. It takes a village, right, to do all the work that we do, and all the generations, all the people, all the time. So this is fantastic. I'm so inspired by members of this community. I would now like to present the APAP Arts Champion Award, which recognizes an individual, family, or foundation that demonstrates outstanding commitment to APAP, and through its generous philanthropy and leadership, inspires others to support the performing arts. What can I say? This could be a description of Halsey and Alice North. They have been our North Star, our guiding lights at APAP for 50 years. 50 years. Their service to APAP individually and together is unmatched, and has been a catalyst and an inspiration that goes far beyond significant generosity that they have shown APAP and the field. We are saddened that Halsey's award is being given posthumously. My English teacher would be happy. But we know here that he is here with us in spirit and in all that APAP does. And here with Alice, who was always, and in all the ways, his equal partner, and who carries now their legacy into the future. Halsey and Alice have made significant financial gifts to APAP, yes, and we are eternally grateful, but they also did so much more. Halsey North was the first person in the United States to receive an MBA in Performing Arts Management. And he recognized early that the arts strengthen communities, support economic development, and cultural equity. Halsey joined the APAP board in 1975. That's when I was born. I knew we had a special connection. And in 1987, Halsey and Alice co-founded the North Group to advise on fundraising, strategic planning, and board development. They helped strengthen more than 57 historic theaters, 28 performing arts centers, 53 community arts organizations, and 40 art service organizations across the United States. Halsey and Alice together made each organization more creative, more capable, more sustainable. And they have made APAP more creative, that was a creative way, more capable and sustainable too. Halsey and Alice were APAP conference stalwarts for decades. They led conference workshops and consultations for 40 years. And just as importantly, they created their legendary APAP NYC Theater District restaurant map, updated annually. I heard about these things, guys. A true service to the field. I think you all missed that. And the prospect of an invitation to their annual board alumni dinner was a real incentive, we think, for some people to join the APAP board. In 2023, Alice's vision and generosity inspired the Halsey North Mentoring Exchange Challenge to support APAP's professional development efforts. Come to the Mentor Exchange live session this afternoon to see a bit of the work in action. Alice is also a co-founding member of APAP's President's Council, launched in 2024, and her support, counsel, and commitment continue to be invaluable. Please, please join me in welcoming Alice North to the stage to accept the APAP Arts Champion Award on behalf of herself and Halsey North. Alice.
Hello. That was a lot of my speech. The main thing I want to do is bring Halsey to life for just a moment, sitting on my shoulder, talking to all of you, and receiving this honor, which is very appreciative. I'm very appreciative for. Halsey and I frequently discuss strategies for APAP's future. It was especially important for us to see new generations coming in and board alumni staying involved. And yes, that is one reason we did the dinners. May I say, Lisa, one member of the new generation of leaders was you coming aboard as APAP's president and CEO. You and APAP's future were very much on Halsey's mind at the end of his life. Even though Halsey is not standing here with me, I can feel his spirit. He is with all of us. He too would be happy for this wonderful honor for the two of us. I'm intensely grateful that I found a love, and we were together for so long, 50 years, 9 months, and 17 days. Halsey's wit, creativity, intelligence, genius, warmth, and concern for others underpinned our partnership and his commitment to the work we did together. Halsey was a special spirit, large in size and heart, who along with all of you helped so many to succeed. Thank you.
To present APAP's Fan Taylor Award, please welcome the chair of APAP's Board of Directors, Christopher Hecox.
Good morning, everyone. It's a privilege to stand before you to celebrate an extraordinary leader whose visionary contributions have shaped the performing arts landscape. Today, we honor Pam Tachi with the Fan Taylor Distinguished Service Award. Yes. Recognizing her unparalleled dedication to performing arts presenting, touring, booking, and her profound impact on our field. Pam's illustrious career spans decades of service, creativity, and innovation. Before joining Jacobs Pillow as executive and artistic director, she served as the director of the Center of the Arts at Wesleyan University for over 16 years. There, she transformed the university's arts programming, fostering interdisciplinary collaborations, and commissioning groundbreaking new works. Her work at Wesleyan earned her national recognition as a champion for artists and a curator of experiences that transcend boundaries. At Jacobs Pillow, Pam has continued to build on her legacy of service and vision. Under her leadership, the Pillow has flourished, expanding its year-round programming, launching initiatives to nurture emerging artists, and investing in the cultural preservation of dance through its archives and community programs. Her commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion has furthered the organization's mission, ensuring the Pillow remains a welcoming and dynamic space for all voices. Beyond her institutional leadership, Pam has been a steadfast advocate for the performing arts on a national scale. From mentoring young professionals to serving on boards and advisory panels, she has dedicated herself to uplifting others and strengthening the arts ecosystem. Her work exemplifies the spirit of the Fan Taylor Distinguished Service Award, a passion for service, a dedication to fostering creativity, and a belief in the transformative power of the arts. Please join me in congratulating Pam Tachi, a trailblazer, mentor, visionary, and advocate whose impact is celebrated now and for generations to come. You're welcome.
Oh, goodness. Thank you so much. How wonderful. And I'm so honored to be among such an incredible group of awardees today. When I opened Shayla's email with Lisa's letter letting me know that I was going to receive this award, I was in the thick of trying to bring our 2025 budget into balance with our deputy director. And I was just pulled out of that moment, and I was stunned and moved. I really am not one to look back on my own achievements, to celebrate the success of my organization, yes, to cheer for the wins of my staff, absolutely, but not so much my own. In fact, using the first person pronoun to talk about any success in the arts, it doesn't come naturally to me. So it was really moving, and I really appreciate the fact that the selection committee took time to reflect on my body of work and chose to give me this award named for Fan Taylor, a fierce and powerful advocate for the arts. And I'm just so grateful, so thank you. I've been coming to this conference for over 25 years. I've met some of my most precious colleagues here. I've discovered the work of new artists, and I've met agents, managers, and independent producers who've become some of my closest collaborators. To my presenter, agent, managers, independent producer friends in the room today, thank you for the many ways that we've collaborated to bring artists and audiences together. To the staff and board of Jacob's Pillow, I want to thank all of you. We have a few represented here at this table. It's been an honor to work with a group of people whose passion and commitment to dance is always palpable. To have Jacob's Pillow be all that it's called upon to be for this field. To the staff in particular, I have never worked with a group of people who's worked so hard to find new ways to work better, to create spaces of belonging for more and more people year after year. It's going to be so exciting for our team to open the new Doris Duke Theater this July. A new theater for dance in America. And I hope all of you will come to celebrate with us. I want to thank my husband of 38 years, Jerry Zinzer, for being my best friend and confidant, for all he's done to you know what these jobs are like. And he's always encouraged me to follow my bliss and to do what I loved. So thank you, Jerry. The work of performing arts presenters has never been more urgent. We are essential in providing refuge and creative space for artists in this turbulent environment. We are essential for people who are afflicted with what the Surgeon General cites as the top health risk in our country, an epidemic of loneliness and isolation. We are essential in bringing communities together to have experiences created by artists that can bridge so many of the gaps that divide us and give us insights into the imaginative futures that we can't imagine right now. We know that we are going to be charged with doing this essential work in a much changed political climate, in an era where our values are shifting, and in a time of intensifying climate change. We all will need each other more than ever right now. So I invite all of you to call upon each other, to hold each other close right now, and to know that we are grounded in the power of possibility, of transformation, and of joy that is the performing arts. Thank you so much for this award.
Congratulations. Okay, we're getting to the end, folks. Thank you for holding on with us. It is now my great honor to present the association's Award of Merit. This award is given to honor an individual whose genius, energy, and excellence have defined or redefined an art form for today's audience. That is our honoree in a nutshell. You got to see some of her genius, energy, and excellence on display in our opening ceremony. It has been said that Nona Hendrix's career spans 6 decades of sound and style evolution. You may have first discovered her as a founding member of La Belle, and if you don't recognize the name of their first record, Lady Marmalade, Google it. You know it. Nona Hendrix became the chief songwriter of the group's socially conscious message. In her solo career, she collaborated with artists including Prince, Talking Heads, Laurie Anderson, Bono, and more. She has had top 10 hits and a Grammy nomination for Rock This House with Keith Richards on guitar. We are talking serious Creed in the music business. But she was not content to settle for hit music. Nona Hendrix was and is the queen of transformation, writing music for theater, The Roundabout's Blue, starring Phylicia Rashad, film, Lee Daniels' Oscar-nominated Precious, producing and collaborating with new generation of artists, appearing on Terry Lynn Carrington's Grammy Award-winning Mosaic Project with Esperanza Spalding, Cassandra Wilson, Diane Reeves, and Sheila E. She hosted a Sirius XM radio show, The Nexus with Nona Hendrix, interviewing artists on what she describes as her 3 passions: music, art, and technology. She is also an activist for women's rights, social, political, and criminal justice, health, and education. She does it all. She founded the nonprofit Sister Smarter.org to bridge the gap in science, math, art, technology, and robotics for young women of color. And she continues to work with students on explorations in art and technology. She has presented multimedia performances at MoogFest, Mass MoCA, Joe's Pub, and just this summer at Lincoln Center with the mixed reality, The Dream Experience, which we had a taste of in the opening session. She still writes music across genres with politically and socially relevant lyrics wrapped in neo-funk grooves, otherworldly and soulful vocals, and art rock changed rhythms. Nona Hendrix has profoundly impacted American culture and inspired several generations of artists, from Prince to Janelle Monáe to Nick Cave. She hasn't stopped innovating, and it looks like she never will. From building her own electronic tutu to creating and building a mixed reality experience with AI, AR, and VR, Nona is constantly looking for ways to evolve. Join me in presenting our 2025 APAP Award of Merit to Nona Hendrix. Okay. Give me this.
Good morning. Usually I'm in some darkened room somewhere, but this is slightly dark, so I feel okay. I want to, normally when I'm on stage, I am singing. And so I've written my thank yous this morning and things that I wanted to remember to say. First of all, thank you and congratulations to the other awardees this morning. I've learned so much by being here and hearing about the amazing work that you've done to bring joy and inspiration and, I think, transformation to audiences around the world. Also, I want to say thank you to APAP, to the board of APAP, and to the selection committee for considering my work and my career for this award. I don't really think about, I think as somebody else said earlier, about awards for what it is that I do, because I get so much from what I do every time I walk on stage and people respond to me. And that has always been the driving force from the beginning. And I wanted to say thank you to Lisa, Tony, and thank you to Vicki, who's been constantly making sure that I got to where I needed to be. So thank you for that. And for the team, for the APAP team and crew and staff and everyone who brings this conference together every year. I've attended in the past, but I'm really, really grateful to be here in this capacity today. I also wanted to say thank you for allowing me to be the performer for your opening plenary. That was very sort of valuable for me to be able to share with you what it is that I'm currently doing and creating. I wanted to say that the reason I'm standing here is Sarah Dash, who was a member of LaBelle, who passed a couple of years ago. Sarah and I grew up in the same hometown, and Sarah came to her church was visiting my church, and the one time that I was singing lead in our junior choir, they came to visit, and afterwards she said, "Would you like to join a local group?" And I don't know why. I said yes. I had no aspirations to be a singer or to be in show business or an entertainer at all. I was headed towards being a school teacher. And so that's the reason why I stand here today, is I say thank you to Sarah Dash for asking me and inviting me to be in this world. And then, not only did I get that as a gift, and we then became a group with Patti LaBelle, which one of the most amazing singers, and not knowing then that our lives would become 17 years of sisterhood, traveling, touring, living, eating, having children, getting married, parents, just our sisters is what we became. So I'd like to say thank you to them, because that's why I stand here today. And also to Vicki Wickham, who is my partner, a Brit who came to see LaBelle, or Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells at the Apollo Theater, and said, "Great voices, but the hair and the clothes have got to go." And that was the beginning of the birth of LaBelle, because we'd been touring, as I said, starting from 1961, touring, and we called it towing. That was our joke, because we were always towing something behind us. Additional baggage, traveling in a station wagon across America. I know all of I-95. Driving from East Coast to West Coast, back again, up and down the northern seaboard, from Montreal up to Toronto, all the way down to Florida, performing night after night. Sometimes, hopefully, we were in a theater for a week, and that was like a vacation. So we toured probably about 300 nights out of the year. We were very much the Green Book, and We also, because we were touring at a time when we were not welcomed everywhere. And so we lived that very difficult time, but we had each other. And we toured with lots of other artists like James Brown, Otis Redding, the Motown Review with Stevie Wonder, the Four Tops, the Temptations, all of Motown, and many other artists, from Rufus Thomas to Carla Thomas to you name, all of us on the Chitlin circuit, as it was known. And it truly was. The Chitlins were pretty good at the time, if you know what Chitlins are. And playing the amazing theaters that we played, the Apollo Theater, we became the sweethearts of the Apollo because we played there so often. The Howard Theater, the Regal Theater, the Royal Theater, the Royal Peacock Theater. These were the places where we were welcomed, we were celebrated. They became our homes, and we would play there at least twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, depending on how hot your record was, or how loved you were by the audience. And we were luckily loved by many audiences over time. I also want to say that, the people some of them who were in that list of those who have gone on, are people who were a big part of my career and a part of just the friendship, being in New York, being in show business, and many of them are missed, and I'm grateful to be able to be standing here still. So I'm going to leap forward, jump 60 years forward, and it's a sort of like warp speed, and talk about my ambassadorship at Berklee College of Music. I said, earlier that I was headed towards, a teaching career, and I ended up in a teaching career, but not specifically teaching, but as an ambassador for Berklee College of Music in Boston. And that began my transformation into creating, designing, developing AR, VR, and AI experiences, immersive experiences. And I have to thank for that the provost of Berklee College of Music, Larry Simpson, who said to me, I'd like for you to, yes, a wonderful, wonderful man, who said to me, I think maybe it would be good if you worked with the EPD, which is the Electronic Production and Design Department, because you love technology. I know the ensemble and the vocal department want to work with you, but maybe you can get them out of the basement and stop them twiddling knobs. And so that's what I began to do. And when I started, there were no women in EPD. We now have Michelle Darling, who is the chair of EPD, a woman, and we have had probably over 100 young women come through the program, young women of color. And go on, we have one sitting here, Nia Simone, who was 2023 graduate of Berklee, and now my assistant and working with me on Dream Machine and the other projects that I'm doing, a very talented cellist, but also a techie. I also wanted to say, I'll try and move through this quite quickly because I don't want to bore you, that I want to thank also Laurie Landay, and Dr. Boulanger and Michael Biarello, professors at Berklee College of Music, who understood my diverse interest in music, art, and technology, and worked with me to create multiple projects with the students at Berklee and Boston College, Boston University, sorry. And I also want to say, moving faster forward, as I said, Nia Simone Edgerton and Joy Collingborn, who's sitting here, who's been working with me. Then I had a conversation or a meeting with Jordana Lee from Lincoln Center, and we were talking about projects that I might be thinking about doing, interested in doing, and considering in the work that I was doing. And she said, let's do that. She said, let's let's do this wild dream that you have, better known as Dream Machine. And I want to thank Shanta, thank Jordana Lee, thank Montang, and all of the Lincoln Center staff and team who worked so hard to bring this dream of mine, Dream Machine, to life at Lincoln Center last June. Yes. I also want to thank one of the people who's here at the table over here, Micheline Thomas, the amazing visual artist who, if you don't know who she is, get your phone out and Google. I want to thank Micheline because Micheline was the person I thought of first when I was thinking about creating an Afrofuture garden in the David Rubenstein atrium to be a space to house the residency for the first African-American female-inspired AI to be in communication and collaboration with the New York community and beyond. And I have to say, Micheline, amazing what you do. It was 3,500 square feet of space that we turned into an Afrofuture garden. We don't have a photograph here to show you, but if you also go on the Dream Machine Experience website, you will see the amazing work of Micheline Thomas and Lufti Jananaya. That said, I want to, so you can learn more about Dream Machine and why I keep wanting to push the envelope and incorporate not only what we do on stage live and in person, but also to extend that to have an extended reality and to move forward in creativity with where the possibilities of where we can go and how we can engage people on an emotional level using technology, because that is the human connection is the most important and the most valued, but we have these tools that we are given to create these wonderful dreams and ways of envisioning joy for people when they come into the spaces that we create. And that's where I see the value in technology is just yet another sort of pencil and paper for me, and how we can dream with it. The Dream Machine also I'm a collaborator. Being in a group for 17 years, you must collaborate, or you won't last. And working with people like collaborating with George Clinton from P-Funk, Laurie Anderson, Vernon Reid from Living Color Band, Skin from Skunkanancy Band, an amazing singer from the UK, and Bina 48, the AI, in collaboration. I was able to create with iJack, an amazing AR, VR development company, these worlds that the artists wanted themselves to be in. And if you haven't seen it and had a chance to know about it, it's an experience where it's like Wikipedia and YouTube mashed up and you're in it. So that's the best way I can explain it to you right now. So having been a touring artist for many years, played the Bitter Inn, played the Metropolitan Opera House, played theaters around the world, I understand what it is to be a performing artist, and to have an organization like APAP and the performing arts centers that I performed in over the years with so many other artists in so many different ways, from rock to funk to R&B to pop to dance to film. I am grateful that Sarah Dash said to me, "Would you like to join a local group?" Local doo-wop group, basically. So I'd like to say again, to all of the people who have been a part of sustaining, encouraging, and inspiring my work, my career, I do believe that all of us are smarter than any of us, and that none of us can do this alone. And I'd like to thank also the organizations and foundations who definitely made Dream Machine a dream come to life. I'd like to thank the Mellon Foundation, the Duke Foundation, Open Society, Creative Capital, NEA, the Movement Lab, and Goldman Sachs for supporting that particular project. And I hope I get to continue working with you and making more dreams come true. Thank you. Oh, I forgot to thank Sozo Impact, Ichung and Dana Jaquetto, Dana Greenfield, sitting there. Thank you very much for being a part of Dream Machine.
Okay, we are an extraordinary group of people, you all. Look what we do, look at us. Thank you and congratulations to all of our award winners. We're deeply proud of everyone and we wish everyone continued success. As we look to build on the inspiration that our award winners have given us this morning and sustain future excellence in our field, we are excited about what comes in the rest of this conference, which you're here to experience. The Mentor Exchange Live and other professional development sessions this afternoon. Be sure to catch the Expo Hall also this afternoon before it closes. And don't forget about the Yipka concert tonight. Tomorrow, we look forward to seeing you at the Kelly O'Hara session where we will close our conference. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here, and congratulations to all.